Welcome into Extra Time. Alexis Nunes here, hanging out with Shaka, Hislop, and Don Hutchison. Look at us, him giving us the salute. Don, what a fancy
By the way,
man.
what was that jacket?
Don, let's talk
we have
about-
to address that. We have to address that.
We have to address that jacket, because I thought it would be Luis Garcia's hat that stole the show from the picture we dug up. But that jacket, it was giving the aviator, and I kind of like it, but I think it was the hair that
No,
took
it's part
Yeah,
smoking jacket,
There
part
it
robe,
is.
part tuxedo. I don't know.
You've got to think, guys. You've got to think that was after Lock, Stock and Two Smokeable Barrels. So that's probably me at about 25, 26.
25.
You didn't have
it's a
taste?
long
So you didn't have
time
taste
ago.
at 25,
Oh.
26? You didn't develop this
Well,
sense
that
of
was
taste?
that was the fashion shack. Well, that was the fashion shack. I mean, let's not look at a young Shaka Hislop
Yes,
at 25.
yes.
Oh.
See what he was wearing.
Let's not do that.
We do have a couple of young Shakas.
No,
Shaka was very
don't.
fashionable.
Let's not do that.
Do you know what it is? I think all our young Shaka pictures are him in the old school goalkeepers
Yeah,
kits. And those
are
go hard,
everywhere.
man.
Yep.
Old
I mean,
school
Alexis,
goalkeepers kits, fire.
I mean, one of the best-looking guys in the world when I was a youngster at Liverpool was John Barnes.
Yeah,
And if
fair.
you've seen some of John Barnes' Versace jackets, like black and white diamonds and, you know, lightning bolts everywhere, Versace, black and white everywhere. Oh, I mean, at the time it was fashionable and Versace was like huge, but it was some look.
Shaka, you know John Barnes very well.
I do. I do
Appreciates
not.
his fashion.
I do not have a black and white lightning bolt jacket. I can
Versace
guarantee-
jacket.
Yeah.
Do you have a Versace jacket?
John could have pulled it. No, I know. Barnsley could have pulled it off though.
Goodie.
Barnsley could have pulled it, but yeah. Give him that.
All right, we're going to have to dig up some of these old school pictures. We love it. All right, let's get into the first question. Now, it seems everybody's ready to give Arsenal the Premier League trophy, but weren't we all ready to give Liverpool the trophy this time last season? Absolutely correct, after all the business and the cash they splashed, but Don, didn't work out too well for them.
No, that is a fantastic point. I think everyone off the back when Liverpool won the title and they signed Isak and one or two others went, whoa, that's a statement signing. That's Liverpool going to win the league again. But I think Arsenal are just so strong because what Liverpool have got now is they've got top-class players, but they're a little bit flimsy. Where I look at Arsenal and I look at the men that they've got and I think Calafiori can play 2 or 3 positions. Jurrien Timber, 2 or 3 positions. Saliba, Mosquera, Gabriel, Nkapie. These guys can all play right across the back four. And then you go into midfield with Declan Rice and Ødegaard, who was great in the game against Man City, and I thought he bossed the game. We watched the game Norway against England. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. And then Havertz is that 9. I think he'll get more game time than Victor Gyökeres. I just see them being the most settled team in the Premier League by far, with all the other changes going on with managerial changes or teams that are in transition. Arsenal just looks solid.
Well, remember in the show we were laughing at Don and Luis because they picked Florian Wirtz to be their player of the year this year. And I was wondering what they did to convince you, Shaka, because after what we saw from him this season, little did I know that last year you picked Wirtz to be your player of the year. I mean, I'm no better. I picked Mo Salah, but now I get it, Shaka. So you're just kind of hoping he comes good to validate your opinion.
Listen, I am basing my faith in Florian Wirtz purely on what we saw of him at Leverkusen.
Oh.
Purely. He was outstanding. Not good at all last year.
So we're just forgetting the last year, including the World Cup for Germany.
Selective amnesia, Alexis.
Selective amnesia.
I've got a lot of it.
I've
got a lot.
It's because you sleep a lot, Shaq. Did you sleep through the last? Did you sleep through the World Cup?
How are we in the
I know you saw those Germany games,
What are we
Shaq.
talking about?
Just saying.
Germany were bad.
Yeah.
Not just Wirtz.
Yeah, Germany let themselves.
Everybody.
But if we speak as a collective, Shaq. All right, next question, shall we? With Arsenal having now acquired Ezri Konsa, can you recall any other European club with as much depth as they possess at the moment? Don?
Not in recent years.
Yeah.
Not in recent years. I mean, you could go back a decade with Barca and Real Madrid, but not in recent years. Or Alex Ferguson, Man United, when he had 4 strikers. You know, yeah, I just look at them and I just think, who's going to score against them? And there was a point last season, I think, for the first, 2 or 3 months when no one got a shot against Arsenal, never mind scored. So the only thing that might hamper them slightly is maybe a little fatigue off the back of the World Cup. It's the only thing, because I just think they're so strong.
John, what about the rules changes? You went to a big meeting yesterday, didn't you?
I did.
Hey.
I was at a fancy. I was in Olympia yesterday, which is the home of the Premier League. It's a brand new building. We went through all the office changes, this, that, and the other. But Howard Webb was there, and he gave a very interesting talk about how VAR this season is going to be more relaxed. And he gave loads of examples that we saw last year, and it emphasised really Alexis and Shaka when he was putting clips up and he was asking everyone that was in the room, so everyone that worked at the Premier League, and then, you know, presenters and ex-footballers, journos, etc. And a lot of the decisions when he was replaying them said, like, show of hands for goal or show of hands for disallowed goal. And the room literally was like 50-50 or 60-40. So it emphasised how hard a referee's job is. But he did say the feedback he got from social media, from guys that, you know, all around the world and their opinion on VAR, is it got involved too much last year, and he's going to try and relax it a lot more.
Music to our ears, Jack.
Well, I see what that means in practice. I'm not sure exactly what it means. If you ask me what we needed from VAR, I would just say more consistency.
Yep.
You know, it's too often you've had interventions that don't feel warranted, or it's managed differently in a different game. The consistency about it is what I think confuses people.
Is that going to change how Mikel Arteta approaches games?
Was that done?
Shaq, he did say, he did sort of say, he said it's a little bit of a contradiction, because even though they're going to try and relax getting involved, that's going to bring more scrutiny in, as if to say, why didn't you get involved in that one? Yeah. Or why didn't you get involved in this one? So he said, actually, we can't actually win sometimes, because if we don't get involved and we relax it, people will go, wow, why didn't you check this? Why didn't you check that? So I think the point that he was raising is, I don't know if you guys agreed, but I thought the referees in the World Cup were absolutely brilliant. And I put my hand up for a question. I said, Howard, I said, my biggest bugbear in football at the minute, watching Premier League football, is, and I'll use an example as a fullback, because it normally happens as a fullback. When a fullback's going towards his own goal, and a right winger or left winger closes him down, and the fullback just falls over, the referee goes, free kick. In the World Cup, they went, no free kick. I thought the referees were fantastic. And I raised that point to Howard Webb, and he said, that's one of the things they're going to try and say to the referees, don't give any soft fouls, let the game flow.
I'll take it in theory. Again, I want to see it in practice.
In Arsenal games.
But, well, I'm not picking on Arsenal. I want to see it in practice. And to Don's point, I think I'm right in saying the first time video assistant refereeing was used in a World Cup was 2018, and it was brilliant then. Somehow, 8 years later, while we continue to praise the refereeing and the standards at World Cups, we're still trying to get it right in league football. And I get it. You know, there's far more games in the league over far longer time, and so a lot more to kind of get through. But I've always felt that they've gotten it right at the World Cups, but somehow the leagues are still kind of trying to figure this out, and rule changes and all sorts. I believe we're going to see it. That's all I got.
Well,
one was very, very interesting. Sorry, Alexis. One was very interesting, and he was trying to crack down on players feigning injury. So if an outfield player goes down and the physio comes on, that player's got to go off now for a minute instead of 30 seconds. The interesting one was when a goalkeeper goes down and he needs treatment, he then obviously can't go off. An outfield player's then got to go off in his place for a minute. That's an interesting one, that dynamic.
Our Ale Moreno wouldn't stand a chance.
No.
Feigning injuries every second, he'd be out for the entire game.
Yeah.
All right. Next question then, shall we? Are Spurs acting Spursy in the transfer market, fighting relegation and then playing FIFA transfer in real life, signing Tonali, Fernandes, Marmoush and Savinho fit in the De Zerbi project? Don, you want to tackle this first?
Good on him. Good on him. Good on De Zerbi, good on Tottenham for listening to a manager who's saying, I've got the power, I'll take you away from the bottom four. I'll get you back into European football. Let's no longer be Spursy. Let's spend the cash. And I think the job that he's done and the players that he brought in, I think so far have been exceptional.
Jack?
I agree. I think it's needed from Spurs.
Yeah.
Listen, despite what the table may have said the last couple of seasons, Spurs are a big football club. And I think this has been needed for them. And credit deserving. But now, of course, that means expectations are very high for Spurs this season.
Well, I'm glad you say expectations are very high for Spurs this season because I want to know how high. Let's go to our next question that asks, any chance Tottenham will finish in the top three? Don, top three for Spurs?
No chance. Not a chance.
After everything we just
my
said.
Ears did, my ears did prick up in the show when Shaka sort of teased us a little bit, but he didn't really go all in. He didn't go all in and tell us where Spurs were going to finish. I think they'll finish between 7th and 8th.
That's because Shaka's giving his full Premier League predictions on the show tomorrow. But Shaka, give us a teaser. Spurs top three?
Oh.
No.
No?
Nope.
No chance.
Spurs will not be in my top three.
Are you willing to put something on it?
I am. If Spurs finish top three, here's my promise.
Say it to the camera.
To Mike Rodriguez. I will personally buy a Spurs shirt. Put Hislop on the back.
Ooh.
Whatever position they finish as your number, and wear it for a week straight at ESPN
On the show.
FC. Yes.
A week straight.
A week straight.
So we can schedule in for a week straight.
You can schedule me for how many of shows for however long you want. I am wearing it every single show for a week straight.
All right, well, we have that recorded. Don, you heard that too, right? You're my fellow witness.
Heard it. Absolutely heard it.
Shaka, what about United? What if United finish top three?
If Manchester United finish
There we
top
go! Give it to me,
three.
Shaq.
If Manchester United finish top three, I will walk into a store, buy a Manchester United shirt, put Hislop on the back, whatever position they finish, 1, 2, or 3, and I will wear it for a week straight.
We love United finish
So
third.
by pure elimination, it has to be, Shaq, according to your algorithms, Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
We will
In some sort of order.
Tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow.
Donald Hutchison.
To find out. But you heard it here. If United or Spurs finish in the top three at the end of the Premier League season, Shaka will be donning, no pun intended, either of those shirts for a week each. I hope they finish second and third, if anything. And Shaka just has to wear the shirts back to back to back to back for 2 weeks. Beautiful. We love to see. There we go. I always thought red was the color, Shaka. It's tricky colors. It goes. All right, next question. Every single FC pundit has Chelsea finishing top 4 this season. You don't know Shaka's yet, though. Are they really that much better from last year's team that finished 10th, or is this a result of other teams getting worse? Don?
Tiny little bit of both, but I think the signings have been good. I like Lacroix, signing from Palace. And then, as I mentioned before, you think João Pedro, I think he's the one. If Barca had all the money in the world, I think he's the one that would fit a Barca shirt, but they haven't got that 100+ million. So you think of João Pedro, Cole Palmer will be better, Morgan Rogers, fantastic signing, Esteval, the young Brazilian, Neto, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. I mean, they've still got some team with no European football whatsoever, so one game a week, that's definitely going to help.
That's the big thing that you guys keep saying.
Well, yeah, absolutely. No European football plays into Chelsea's hands. I also think there's a Xabi Alonso effect coming in. Let's also remember that Chelsea were doing really well up until Christmas under Maresca. And then for some strange reason, in my opinion, if Chelsea don't finish top 4, it is because the ownership group got involved again. I thought they were doing well under Maresca, and then ownership group comes in, he's out the door, and then everything just kind of comes apart at the seams.
Yeah, the players themselves even admitted that they were a bit surprised too and had no idea what was going on. So, big season ahead for Chelsea. We shall see. Next question. Don, which of these clubs has suffered a bigger loss with regards to the departure of their key players in this window? Manchester City with the loss of Stones, Bernardo and Rodri. Newcastle losing Gordon, Tonali and Guimaraes. or Villa losing Rodgers, Tielemans, and now Konza?
Man City all day long.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Man City
Newcastle.
all day long. No, well, listen, if you don't want to play for Newcastle, off you pop. Go and move on.
Spicy.
Newcastle have gone in a different direction. Listen, you can look at it two ways. We're Newcastle fans. I'm a Newcastle fan. I can get really down thinking, we had Elliot Anderson, we had Bruno, we had Tonali, could have been the best midfield three. We had Isak and Anthony Gordon. We were so close to getting top 2, top 3. But those players have wanted to move on. If they don't want to play for Newcastle and they've got aspirations of going winning trophies and Champions League, and in Bruno's case, champion at Arsenal, then you have to say good luck to him. You're only in the game a short period of time, and Bruno's close to 29. I don't blame him. Having said that, you get behind the young players at Newcastle. You wish them all the best. Hislop's a progressive manager. He'll work them hard. I like what he's been saying. But in terms of the question, having no Pep, having no John Stones, having no Bernardo Silva, and having no Rodri especially, I just can't see how City win the league. So to answer the question, I think it's Man City. Villa have been ripped apart as well, but I think it's City.
Shaka, it's Newcastle, isn't it?
I think so. Listen, to Don's point, and here's how I'm looking at this. Who's most affected? Who drops furthest down the table from what we show or maybe what we expect? Given those departures, I think Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely key to so much about Newcastle. And of course, you lose your manager, Eddie Howe. I wonder about how that's impacted. I will also say that I was very surprised to see Aston Villa in both Don's and Lewis's
top six.
Mm-hmm. Because of those departures that I mentioned there. So I think Newcastle are the greatest impacted, Villa second, and I think City third. Now, City have lost some good players, but they still have a hell of a team that they can put out on a Saturday if everybody's fit.
Yeah.
Maresca also knows the league. We know Unai Emery and how good he is. Newcastle has unproven quantity in that regard. This mic keeps falling out.
Shaka's mic keeps falling, but this time the battery didn't fall out, so that's good.
It's Pep.
All right, final question now.
Pep in it.
There was much less grappling on corners and set pieces at the World Cup. Will that happen in the Premier League, or will it be just like last season?
I know somebody who went to this meeting in Olympia.
I know. To the new Premier League buildings.
Got shown around all the offices and everything.
Was able to put up his hand and ask questions to the Howard Webb.
Yes.
Done.
Hello, Howard.
Hello, Howard.
Hey,
what
Howard.
do you think? The floor is yours.
Hello, Mr. Webb. Hello, Mr. Webb. I've got a question for you. What are you going to do about all the grappling and fighting at corners like we saw last year? And he said it's very, very hard to police because all footballers are always looking for an edge. We are always trying to bend the rules. We're always trying to look for something.
But it worked at the World Cup,
and he said if no fouls are... Well, they've never done it. We didn't really see it. And someone actually did ask him that question. Someone actually asked him, why didn't we see it at the World Cup? And he actually said, I don't know. He said, the only thing I can think of is when you're with your club, you can work on your set plays from a Monday to Friday. When you're away at a World Cup, maybe there's less time to sort of work on all the set plays, wide free kicks, corners, for and against, etc. I just don't think teams in the World Cup were that interested in doing it. I think last year in the Premier League, we don't really see Barca do it. We don't see Real Madrid do it. I think it was a Premier League thing last year where everyone just got massively hooked on thinking, right, it's set plays, it's fine margins. Hopefully, we don't see it this year, or hopefully we see a little bit less of it, but still, it doesn't matter what it is, Alexis. If I'm playing in a game and a ball goes out for a throw-in and I know it's not my throw, we all shout, ball ref. And we all try to bend the rules in our favour slightly. It's just human nature.
Jack, are you buying that?
Let me ask you a question.
Putting your hand up.
Mr. Donaldson or
Mr. Hutchison.
Mr. Webb via Mr. Donaldson. Why is it so hard to police? That's why VAR is there. I don't know. Why is it hard to police?
Well, no. Where it's difficult to police, Shaq. I mean, he did put a clip up yesterday. And I cannot remember the goalkeeper. It was Anthony Gordon. Bruno Guimaraes scored from a corner direct. And Anthony Gordon, and I'll say this loosely, bumped the goalkeeper. There was no push. It was just a tiny little hip. And he asked the room, he went, foul or no foul? and it was a 60-40 split in the room of no foul, and the goal stood. Where he was sort of alluding to, if there's no foul. You imagine a scenario, right, where, let's just say Arsenal put a corner in. You can imagine, close your eyes, Declan Rice puts a corner in, and there's about 15 players in the 6-yard box, but no fouls are being committed, but everyone's sort of touched tight. That's very difficult to try and police if there's no fouls going on. There's always going to be grappling. There's always going to be contact. So where do you look first? Where do you draw the line? Who are you looking at? He said it's hard.
There's a couple of things about this, right? I get it. You ask a room for their opinion and it's split. I've seen that happen many times. I've been in some of those rooms. That's why I have referees, and that's why referees train, and that's why referees do refereeing courses. What you want is not a split in a room of the general public. What you want is greater consistency in a room full of referees.
Yeah.
So, I understand what Don is saying, but Howard Webb in a room of people, even ex-footballers, not referees, you're always going to have this kind of discrepancy, and is not a justification one way or the other. Now, you have a room of lay people, as long as those referees make those calls, the bump or whatever it may be, consistently, nobody argues. If you make that call 99% of the time, nobody argues. That's all.
But the problem with that, Shaq, it doesn't matter if you're an ex-pro presenter or a referee, everything's subjective. So you and Alexis could be in a room, in a VAR room, and Shaka, you say that's a foul on the goalkeeper, and Alexis goes...
Me and Alexis are not going to be in a VAR room. That's my point.
I'm just saying because you sat in front of me.
Right, yeah, no. My point is you have referees in the VAR room. People who are trained to see those things and understand what they're seeing. Not ex-players. Ex-players are as inconsistent as everybody else. What you want is referees who train for hours to do this. That's my point here, Don.
I hear you. I do hear you, but it's very subjective because every referee is different with every single call.
And I get that.
I get your point. I know exactly what you're saying. But because we're human, decisions are subjective.
I get that too, but it just can't be as inconsistent as we've seen. I get that. As players, we used to say, we've got Mr. Green today, be careful.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. As referees, you know how to play the game according to the referee at times. Oh. Well, no, you know who's card happy and who allows the game to play and who you can talk to in certain ways and who you can't say a thing. So, you manage accordingly. You deal with that. And similarly, in today's game, yes, there is that inconsistency, there is that subjectivity, but still, the inconsistency, I think, the level of it is what upsets people.
Well, I can't wait for this new Premier League season. We will see if everything John told us about
I will not be wearing a Spurs shirt or a United shirt.
I'll keep you informed.
ESPN FC will be back again tomorrow. Craig Burley's back with Kay Murray, and our Shaka Hislop will be giving his Premier League predictions. Apparently, he has Manchester United in his top 3.